But the latest reality TV that I have been watching has been, because I'm a wrestling fan. I'll watch Total Divas because it's about the female wrestlers that are involved in the WWE and what they go through as female wrestlers. Then I've watched another show called Ms. and Mrs., which is a show about a character who is on the WWE, a wrestler named The Miz, and it's about his wife because The Miz is a real world. He was a real world, road rules person, and so he had reality TV experience. I don't really watch reality TV, but I'll watch these.
Really watch wrestling, but I did enjoy the Ms. and Mrs.
Ms. and Mrs. Kind of the point because she is more famous than him, and he's very frustrated. He has a little bit of resentment, but he's also very supportive of his wife. He was the person who was big into wrestling from day one, and she kind of fell into it. But when she became a superstar, she blew up, and he is kind of stagnant. So I was very interested in their story because I wanted to see how that was going to play out. Because when I say she blew up, she really blew up, and I was surprised that they brought that up. How much a little bit of like of resentment and whatnot in their relationship. So none of this is going to convince Tabatha to watch wrestling. But it's not about the wrestling.
I don't watch reality though, so
that's like two. That's like two strikes. It's reality TV and it's wrestling.
There's no interest in me watching that. One, I don't trust it. Two, I don't find it entertaining to watch other people go through their life like that. It's not fun for me, so it's just not something I enjoy. So it's not my thing. I know other people enjoy it, and that's great for them. It's just not my jam.
Well, why don't you look? What about just looking at the pretty people? Look at them, Bianca Belair.
I think they're beautiful people, 100%. I still am not going to enjoy a show about their life in general because I just don't enjoy reality TV like that. I do miss the Road Rules in days because those were challenges that I got to watch people go through. I loved Road Rules. I watch Road Rules all day long, but I don't do any of the I don't do the Bash reality show, which doesn't really exist much. So I was like, all right, I got to support this, and then got seeped into all the drama there.
Hey, I haven't in quite some time, but I did for quite a few years watch.
I did watch that back in the day, but
funny.
that didn't feel like reality. That
felt like consider it to be in the reality world.
I know, but that was like a show in a sense. Like you got to watch something. You do not care about the relationship. I don't genuinely care.
So we can't. So for this one, we can't talk her into it.
No, you're not going to talk me into it. I will not waste what valuable time I have. The very thing I can't get back. The thing that I can't get in any sort of way. I can get money back and get everything else back. I cannot get my time back. I am not going to waste on that. I'm just not.
I mean, so far, I'll be honest with you. And so far, let me, and I'm a wrestling guy, and I like these kinds of. I love the Ms. and Mrs. I love Total Divas. I don't know how. I don't know. Like, I was thinking, as we were watching this show, I was like, if this wrestler, the husband, if he's feeling like he's in his wife's shadow, this is how it's going to. This is the thing that's going to help him in the wrestling world. Win over the fans and try to come over. Even in the middle of watching it, I was like, it's still not happening for me. I care more about his wife Bianca than I do, and I like him, but it wasn't winning me over, and it's sad.
And why is that wrong?
It's not wrong. I'm just saying that.
Why is that a problem?
Without getting into the whole wrestling fanboy thing, I was gonna go into what he needs to do, but that's just talking about the writers and all that stuff. But it's not wrong. It's just that what I'm really getting at is alone in that. What do you feel? We haven't
gotten that far in. I don't know because for me,
for me,
the Ms. and Mrs. to me is more. It's
comedy based. It's funny.
I can't figure out why. Because
so
he's very silly and goofy, just like Miz.
But she's not. The Ms. and Mrs. They were funny together.
Yeah.
It's just their relationship together.
Yeah, it's so silly together.
Yeah.
And the stuff, and I know you kind of laughed at first.
Being exactly what they've already done with their other reality shows.
They haven't been funny.
Yeah.
They've been serious.
It's
the Ms. and Mrs. His mother-in-law and the mom and they're
the crazy mother-in-law and all that.
They're hilarious as well
Yeah.
because of the antics they get into, which
but
we
in this
haven't
one, it's
seen
they're not as entertaining. Yeah, it's like they're trying to copy the things that they did before, but this one
It's just
it's
not
not
working
working.
with this, yeah.
They have a whole unique story on their own that I don't feel like they needed to copy what Ms. and Mrs. was doing. And I don't mean to compare the two, but it feels like they're trying to recreate. Right? They should have just gave us season 3 of Ms. and Mrs. instead of this, unless I don't know. There's something wrong with the way they've executed this show, and the reason why
Maybe
the other
it's
show
because the fact that you've already realized that there's tension because she is the matriarchy versus a patriarchy, and maybe that's the reason that you don't like it as much and people aren't really wanting to face the facts of that.
They've done it as well, a topic that's a sensitive topic in the real world, which is, and it's the opposite for Ms. and Mrs. because the Ms is a bigger star than the Mrs. So she was already not doing much wrestling anymore.
And he was already
bigger. So the fact for her to have kids was no issue because she's not the star. This one is the opposite. He's the star in this.
And he wants to be a star.
He wants to fucking watch the struggle that women have to deal with already every freaking day with having any sort of power or any sort of future when a man's poor ego is already being smashed down and he can't take it because he's not as strong and powerful as his wife.
And don't get me wrong, he's very supportive.
I agree with he might be.
He does.
They're already going, oh, well, I don't like this as much because there is this conflict already that I've noticed, and it's not as fun and lighthearted.
I would prefer them to solve that conflict in private. I don't need to see it.
But that within itself should tell you why this is not successful. And I'm going to be a little bit harsh towards you, and I'm going to outright go, I'm not meaning it to be harsh, but you as a man are watching this as another man isn't the primary person in this show going, I can't figure out why I don't like this, but I like this other show that's primary with the man where the female's not primary. And you've focused on a conflict where you're saying he's supportive and you're saying he's got issues, but your hyperfixation, the very first thing you say about this show is that there's this conflict. And then it's creating some unease within you of watching it.
I didn't say it was unease, because I also acknowledge that she is the star. I am more in.
You're more interested in her in the wrestling
aspect. I'm more interested in her than him. What I'm trying to, because I have this empathy for all these wrestlers, because they want to do good and they want to be good performers and be entertaining for the fans. He has all the talent in the world and all that stuff.
But he doesn't, obviously.
But he doesn't.
He doesn't have all the talent.
No, I can't. That's not fair. He really does.
If he's not the most popular.
But he just hasn't figured. There's a like the top wrestler right now is Roman Reigns. When he started, he had the same exact talent that he has today that he had then. He just didn't know how to connect with the audience.
Okay, but here's my question.
That's the problem that he has.
I'm trying to create the consistency between the shows. So in the Mrs. and I don't know who Mrs. or the Mrs.
Right.
But you're saying the Mrs. also wrestled?
He used to wrestle. She wrestled.
Okay.
And then she took a step back.
But
and where Miz is where Bianca.
Correct. I'm saying they're literally the opposites. Yes.
They're literally
but you didn't have a
opposite.
conflict with the other show, and there's conflict with this one.
I would have loved to. No, Maurice, Miz's wife, Maurice was one of my favorite divas. And they called in her era they called them divas. They don't call them divas anymore. But when in her time,
but I'm talking about.
I would have loved. I loved her. I wanted her to be more successful too.
But she wasn't, and he was.